All right, so today we're going to be learning about el subjuntivo, or the subjunctive in English, which is kind of like a new verb tense. It's a little bit different, something that we have in English, but we don't really use it too often, so it might seem a little strange to you. You're going to focus on this a lot in Spanish 3. So in Spanish 2, we're just kind of doing a basic intro. So let's start. First, we have moods in language. So that's different than a tense. Let's kind of talk about what the difference is. A verb tense refers to when an action takes place, like past, present, and future. A mood reflects how the speaker feels about the action. I would write these two things down because you need to know that the subjunctive is actually a mood. It is not a tense. Okay, so we've learned the past tense, imperfect, preterite, present. We haven't done future. Subjunctive is a mood. So I'm going to talk about moods that we've already learned. All right, so there's a few types of moods. You've already learned 2 moods in Spanish so far. The indicative mood. You didn't really know you were learning the indicative mood, but that's everything we've done, like present, past, that kind of stuff. So that includes things that were done, things of certainty, reality. Then we have the imperative mood. The imperative mood is commands. So we've only learned 2 different kinds. Sorry about the bell. So we've learned commands, which are imperative mood. Everything else we've learned is indicative mood. You don't really need to worry about anything other than that's the 2 we've done. So I'm going to give you some sentences, and I'm going to show you what mood they are. So I went to the store, that's indicative, because it's not giving a command. Go to the mall, that's imperative. That's giving a command. Don't wear that. That's a command, so it's going to be, yay, hopefully you got it, imperative. Next one, she said it. What's that going to be? It's indicative. Okay, last few, we have I want the job. That would be indicative because it's not a command. Do what you want. Last one, see if you can get it right. It's imperative. Great job. So the difference between indicative and imperative, now we get to talk about subjunctive. So subjunctive mood. There's a third mood called subjunctive. It is used to, this is what you need to write down, it's used to express doubt, express desires, express uncertainty, and express things that aren't real or haven't happened, which kind of sums up all of these things, okay? The really important part of subjunctive that you need to write down is this. The subjunctive is never used by itself. It must be used after something else. So you won't have a sentence that just has subjunctive in it. You'll have something else in it as well. All right, so let's look at this sentence. It's important that you study. It's important. You study. There's 2 verbs, right? It is you study. This right here, this is indicative, meaning it's normal present tense. There's nothing weird about it. It's called a subjunctive trigger though, because if I say it's important that you study, I don't know for sure that you're going to study or not. So because of that, this is considered subjunctive. In English, it doesn't really make a big difference. In Spanish, we would not actually conjugate this the normal way. We would conjugate it in the subjunctive. So that's what I mean by subjunctive can't be by itself. It's here, but it's only here because it comes after this. Kind of hard to understand, but don't really worry about that quite yet. We have a lot of time to work on this. That just connects the 2 phrases. Not really important. So let's look at a Spanish example. Recomiendo que tú vayas a la fiesta. So what it means is I recommend that you go to the party. As you'll realize, this is not the normal form of ir. The normal form of ir would be, hopefully you got it. The normal form of ir would be vas, just V-A-S, okay? But this is vaya, so this tells us that this is in the subjunctive, comes after this. So here, indicative, normal, subjunctive, different. Okay, then we have the connector. So how to form the subjunctive. You may have noticed that the subjunctive is like the commands you've already learned because you saw vayas, so that might have kind of tipped you off to that. If you didn't realize that, you're going to love this news because you already know how to do some of this. It's not completely brand new to you. So the rule is go to the yo form, drop the o, add the opuesto, and there you go. It rhymes, but I want you to actually understand what that means. It means that for AR verbs, you're going to put it in the O form, you drop the O, and then you're going to add the opposite ending, okay? So that means that for AR verbs, these are the opposite endings, right? ASA, hemos, ace, N. For ER-IR verbs, you're going to follow this same step, and you're going to add as, amos, ice, on. So it looks just like the -2 commands or stead commands, but we have a full chart of it here, okay? All right, so here's some practice. All right, does that one, oop. Okay, so here's your practice. So what you're gonna do in Edpuzzle is you're just going to type it to the side. Okay, if you're not in Edpuzzle and you're just watching the video, you can just pause it and practice it on your own. So see if you can get all of these forms correct. If you just wanna write them in your notes even, that's fine because it will check your answers on the next slide. All right, so let's see what these answers are. First one is tanga, because the yo form of tener is tango. Drop the O, add the opposite ending. Then we have comas, estudien, diga, saquemos. Cargazars are back, because if we had a C here, it would say sastemos, okay? Next one, we have vaya, obedezca, because obedezco is the yo form. Last one, we have juegue and cargarzar. The only one that's irregular is this one. The same irregulars for -2 commands are going to be irregulars for the subjunctive. All right, so let's go ahead and see what these charts would look like. You don't have to write these down. If you want to, you can, but not required by any means. So salir, this would be the full chart. Llegar, it's a gar verb, so I want you to see what happens with that. We add the UE. This would be the full form. Cruzar, same thing, we change the Z to a C. And tocar, we change it. Oops, sorry about that there. All right, tocar, we change to QU. So these are cargarzars. This is a go verb, okay? So I'm just kind of showing you some weird verbs, but if you follow the rules, you should be fine. Cargarzars just might throw you off a little. Talk about the irregulars. Same irregulars as you're used to. We've already seen ear is vaya, vayas, vaya. So if you want to write that one down. And then these are the rest of them. Ser, estar, dar, and saber. So those are the only irregulars. Don't forget about ear though, which I just mentioned, which is vaya. All right, so this right here is an activity that you might be doing in class. If you're watching the Edpuzzle, if you're just watching the video, don't need to worry about it. But if you're just watching the video, you are technically done. Edpuzzle, once you're done, make sure you follow the next few activities that you guys need to be doing. And that's the subjunctive.